Welcome to the Past in Pictures channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Vicki Dugan became famous as the Back because of the striking look that made her stand out in the 1950s and 1960s, especially at events and on red carpets. Working as a model and actress, she drew attention by challenging industry conventions and adopting her own style, quickly recognized by the public. Although she played smaller roles in films, her strong personality and unmistakable image have kept her remembered and admired to this day. Anita Ekberg, born in Sweden in 1931, gained worldwide attention after winning the Miss Sweden title in 1950. She became one of the most memorable faces of Italian cinema in the 1960s and was immortalized in the famous Trevi fountain scene in Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita. With elegance and a magnetic presence, she lived for many years in Italy and became a lasting icon of European cinema. Michelle Pfeiffer emerged in the 1980s as one of Hollywood's major stars, drawing attention through her combination of talent and elegance. She played memorable characters such as Elvira Hancock in Scarface and the unforgettable Catwoman in Batman Returns, roles that showed her versatility. Over the following decades, she built a steady and admired career, becoming one of the most respected actresses of her generation. Sybil Shepherd became one of the major symbols of the 1970s thanks to her striking beauty, confidence, and strong screen presence. She played unforgettable roles such as Betsy in Taxi Driver and Jaycee in The Last Picture Show, performances that won over both audiences and critics. Years later, she also shined on television, becoming one of the most admired and versatile artists of her generation. Audrey Hepburn became one of the great icons of film and fashion by starring in classics such as Breakfast at Tiffany's. Her elegant appearance and gentle charisma made her a lasting symbol of style and sophistication. Beyond her successful screen career, she devoted many years to humanitarian work, building a legacy admired and respected around the world. Grace Kelly became one of Hollywood's most memorable icons in the 1950s, shining in classics such as Rear Window and To Catch a Thief. Her flawless elegance and sophisticated presence captivated audiences and even aristocracy, leading her into a new chapter when she married Prince Rainier III and became Princess of Monaco, where she continued to be admired for her charisma and refined manner. Elizabeth Taylor stood out in Hollywood with her stunning beauty and iconic violet eyes that made her unforgettable. She starred in classics such as Cleopatra and Butterfield 8, with performances that earned her 2 Academy Awards over her career. Beyond her screen brilliance, she became a pioneering voice in health causes and humanitarian work in the 1980s, mobilizing resources and visibility while leaving a deep legacy of solidarity and social commitment. Marilyn Monroe became one of the greatest symbols of 1950s cinema, standing out in productions such as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Her platinum look and unforgettable smile helped define the glamour of that era and made her an unforgettable figure. Away from the screen, however, she faced intense pressure, balancing worldwide fame with personal challenges and the high expectations placed on her by the film industry. Joy Lansing made her mark in film and television during the 1950s and 1960s, appearing in productions such as The Beverly Hillbillies. Her elegant style and classic blonde hair helped make her one of the most memorable faces of Hollywood's golden era. Behind the shine of the screen, however, she dealt with strong industry pressure to follow strict beauty standards, something many actresses of that period experienced. Raquel Welch stood out in the 1970s with her memorable performance in The Three Musketeers, a role that earned her a Golden Globe. Combining talent, beauty, and a magnetic screen presence, she became one of the great cinema icons of her time. Her career left a lasting legacy and an unforgettable contribution to film history. Jane Mansfield stood out as one of Hollywood's most eye-catching figures in the 1950s and 1960s, charming audiences with her mix of humor, screen presence, and strong charisma. In productions such as The Girl Can't Help It in 1956 and Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter? In 1957, she became one of the major names in pop culture of her time, Her striking style, along with the glamour surrounding her, left a lasting legacy that still draws interest and admiration today. Elke Sommer became one of the most recognized European actresses of the 1960s and 1970s, appearing in films such as The Prize and A Shot in the Dark, alongside major Hollywood names. Her striking presence and versatility helped push her international career forward. One interesting detail is that she spoke several languages fluently, including German, English, French, and Italian, a skill that further expanded her opportunities in world cinema. Sophia Loren stood out as one of the great stars of Italian and world cinema, earning recognition with an Academy Award for 2 women. Her powerful presence also shined in popular works such as Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, captivating audiences around the world. Born in Naples and shaped by a difficult childhood, she turned her story into strength, becoming a timeless icon of elegance, talent, and resilience. Pamela Tiffin stood out in 1960s cinema with her bright beauty and natural gift for comedy. She gained even more attention in 1, 2, 3, where her charisma won over audiences. At the height of her fame, she decided to follow a new direction, leaving Hollywood to work in Italy, where she continued building her career in European cinema and showed even more versatility as an actress. Linda Carter became a pop culture landmark by bringing Wonder Woman to life in the 1975 series, a performance that combined beauty, strength, and charisma across generations. Her version of the heroine inspired millions of fans around the world. Beyond her memorable acting, she also stood out as a singer, producer, and activist, expanding her influence far beyond the screen and building a multifaceted career. Verna Lisi stood out in Italian and international cinema by combining classic beauty with strong versatility. She acted in films such as Casanova 70 and How to Murder Your Wife, alongside Jack Lemmon. By rejecting roles that focused only on her appearance, she returned to Europe and achieved critical recognition, including a César Award for Queen Margot, establishing herself as an artist of great depth. Lana Turner became one of the brightest figures of classic cinema and earned the nickname Sweater Girl because of her striking style. Her path began unexpectedly when she was discovered at a Los Angeles diner at age 16. During the 1940s and 1950s, she starred in major productions such as The Bad and the Beautiful, establishing herself as one of the great symbols of beauty and glamour from Hollywood's golden age. Brigitte Bardot became one of the greatest symbols of European cinema in the 1950s and 1960s, standing out in works such as In God Created Woman in 1956. In the 1970s, she made an unexpected decision by ending her artistic career to fully dedicate herself to animal protection. Her foundation became an international reference in that cause, strengthening the lasting impact of her journey. Jacqueline Bisset stood out in 1970s cinema with her natural elegance and a screen presence that quickly drew attention. In productions such as The Deep and Le Magnifique, she won over audiences through refined talent and quiet charm. Even with the fame and striking image she built, she continued her path with independence, choosing not to follow traditional Hollywood standards and keeping her own career rhythm. Stella Stevens stood out in film during the 1960s and 1970s, appearing in hits such as The Nutty Professor and The Poseidon Adventure. Her vibrant charisma and screen presence made her one of the most beloved artists of the period. Early in her career, she received major recognition when she was chosen as one of the new stars of 1960 by the Golden Globe New Star of the Year Award, marking the beginning of a highly impactful Hollywood career. Ava Gardner stood out in the 1950s and 1960s as one of Hollywood's most striking figures. With her unique charm and strong screen presence, she gained admirers in productions such as The Barefoot Contessa. Away from film, she lived through intense moments, including her relationship and marriage with Frank Sinatra, which drew major press attention and became part of her public story. Anne Margaret, called the Swedish Goddess, won over audiences with the vibrant energy that defined her career in the 1960s and 1970s. Starring in Viva Las Vegas alongside Elvis Presley, she stood out as an actress, singer, and dancer. Passionate about motorcycles, she also impressed fans with memorable performances riding powerful machines. Carol Baker stood out in Hollywood thanks to her intense performances in films such as Baby Doll and The Carpetbaggers. In the 1970s, she chose to follow a new path in European cinema, moving to Italy and appearing in several local productions. This change marked a period of reinvention, allowing her to continue her career away from the heavy exposure of Hollywood studios. Tanya Roberts won over audiences with her mix of beauty and charisma in roles that marked the 1980s. She gained attention in film by playing Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, and Stacey Sutton in A View to a Kill, becoming a memorable Bond girl. On television, she also shined as Julie Rogers in Charlie's Angels, reinforcing her presence as one of the most memorable figures of that decade. Ursula Andress entered film history by playing Honey Rider in Dr. No, a role that made her the first Bond girl. Her famous scene emerging from the sea in a white bikini became one of the most iconic images ever seen on screen. Beyond her memorable role in the James Bond franchise, she stood out in productions such as Clash of the Titans, strengthening her position as an international star with major impact. Doris Day shined in Hollywood during the 1950s and 1960s, combining bright beauty with a natural gift for romantic comedy. In Pillow Talk, she played the spirited Jan Morrow, one of the roles that expanded her enormous popularity. With unique charisma and a warm screen presence, she became one of the most beloved figures of classic cinema. Gina Lollobrigida showed the charisma that made her one of the great names of Italian cinema in the 1950s and 1960s. She stood out in productions such as Bread, Love and Dreams, and Beat the Devil, moving between comedy and drama with remarkable skill. In the 1990s, she surprised many by directing her influence toward public life, running for the European Parliament, and revealing a new side of her journey. Capucine stood out in French and international cinema thanks to her combination of sophisticated beauty and an unmistakable screen presence. She acted in classics such as The Pink Panther and Walk on the Wild Side, becoming one of the most elegant and admired faces of her time. Mamie Van Doren stood out in Hollywood during the 1950s and 1960s as one of the most memorable figures of her generation. She appeared in films such as Teacher's Pet and The Girls of Pleasure Island, where her confident attitude and vibrant presence drew attention. In an era of strict standards for actresses, she established herself as a symbol of independence and boldness, building an image still remembered today. Anouk Aimée stood out in European cinema thanks to her mix of mysterious beauty and deeply memorable performances. She acted in La Dolce Vita and A Man and a Woman, a role that earned her an Academy Award nomination. Throughout her career, she earned honors such as a British Academy Film Award and a Golden Globe, bringing to life complex and intense female characters remembered as some of the most notable in film history. Jennifer Jason Leigh established herself in Hollywood as one of the most versatile and intense actresses of her generation. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, she drew major attention with memorable performances in films such as The Hitcher and Single White Female, delivering deep and compelling portrayals. Her dedicated and transformative style secured her prestige among audiences and critics. Cindy Crawford changed the fashion world in the 1990s with her unmistakable beauty and the famous mole above her lip, which became her trademark. She became the face of global campaigns for brands such as Pepsi and Versace, expanding her presence far beyond the runway. Throughout her career, she moved into business and philanthropy, building an impact that reached beyond the fashion world. Kelly LeBrock became one of the most memorable faces of the 1980s by starring in films such as The Woman in Red and Weird Science, where her natural charm and screen presence drew major attention. Beyond film, she also stood out as a model in campaigns that became references of the time, reinforcing her image as one of the great muses of that period and expanding her influence in entertainment. Diana Rigg became one of the great names of 1960s television, especially for playing Emma Peel in The Avengers, a role that helped redefine the strong, elegant, and independent female figure. In the 1970s, she drew attention in film as Countess Teresa di Vincenzo in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Many years later, she won over global audiences again as Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones, adding another milestone to her long artistic career. Yvonne Craig stood out in the 1960s with her vibrant presence in productions such as It Happened at the World's Fair, where she acted alongside Elvis Presley and showed a natural talent for comedies and musicals. She was quickly recognized as one of the era's most captivating actresses. At the end of the decade, she gained even more fame by playing Batgirl in the Batman series, becoming one of television's early female symbols of independence and strength. Barbara Eden charmed audiences in the 1960s and 1970s by bringing the iconic Jeannie to life in I Dream of Jeannie. Her charming smile and unmistakable charisma made her one of the most beloved faces on television during that period. In recognition of her career and cultural impact, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1988, celebrating her legacy in entertainment. Diana Dors gained attention in the 1950s as the British version of Marilyn Monroe, combining charisma, a strong presence, and real dramatic talent. She acted in productions such as The Last Millionaire and Yield to the Night, strengthening her place in British cinema. Away from the cameras, she became famous for hosting sophisticated parties filled with celebrities, further reinforcing her image as one of the great glamour symbols of the era. Pam Grier appears with a confident posture on a 1970s film set, during the period when she became the major star of action films of the era. She starred in productions such as Coffee and Foxy Brown, works that made her one of the defining symbols of blaxploitation cinema. Her strength and attitude opened the way for a new female representation on screen. Joanne Woodward gained prominence in film during the 1950s and 1960s, especially for her memorable performance in The Three Faces of Eve, which earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress. With her ability to portray complex characters and convey emotion naturally, she became one of the most admired artists of her generation. Her versatility and strong presence built a lasting screen legacy. Susie Parker became one of the first internationally famous supermodels and also left her mark on film. She appeared in productions such as Funny Face and Circle of Deception, where her elegance and charisma stood out naturally. Beyond her artistic career, she lived an intense personal life that included her marriage to actor Bradford Dillman and moments that reinforced her status as an icon of the era. Jean Shrimpton transformed beauty standards in the 1960s and entered history as one of the first supermodels with global reach. Celebrated as a muse of the miniskirt and the face of memorable campaigns, she became a symbol of that decade's young and modern spirit. At the height of her fame, she surprised the public by leaving the fashion world to live quietly in the countryside, away from the intense pace of the spotlight. Lisa Jack stood out in European cinema during the 1950s and 1960s, gaining admirers through her captivating presence and the natural charm she brought to the screen. Although she mainly appeared in smaller productions, her elegant style and striking manner made her a beloved figure among classic film fans, giving her a special place in the memory of that period. Angie Dickinson became one of Hollywood's most memorable faces between the 1950s and 1960s, standing out in productions such as Rio Bravo and The Killers, which strengthened her presence in the world of westerns and crime dramas. On television, she made history by starring in Policewoman, becoming one of the first women to lead a police series and opening the way for future generations of actresses in the genre. Zsa Zsa Gabor gained attention in Hollywood thanks to her extravagant elegance and unmistakable charisma throughout her career. She appeared in films such as Moulin Rouge, but it was her luxurious lifestyle, along with sharp and humorous comments, that made her one of the greatest glamour symbols of the 20th century. Charlotte Rampling became one of the great icons of European cinema, known for taking on complex and emotionally intense roles. In productions such as The Night Porter and 45 Years, she entered deep and provocative stories, showing her remarkable versatility. Throughout her career, her magnetic presence and unique style made her one of the most memorable actresses of her generation. Julie Christie stood out in the 1960s as one of the leading stars of British cinema, combining talent with a charisma that charmed audiences. She won an Academy Award for her performance in Darling and moved viewers in Dr. Zhivago, performances that established her as one of the most iconic and unforgettable faces of her generation. Erin Gray gained attention on 1980s television by playing Colonel Wilma Deering in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, a role that made her a memorable presence in the science fiction of the time. Janet Leigh left a deep mark on Hollywood with her combination of beauty and unmistakable talent. Her performance in Psycho, especially in the legendary shower scene, redefined suspense and became a film reference. Decades later, she moved audiences again by acting alongside her daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis, in Halloween H20, bringing two generations of major stars together in the same film. Carrie Fisher became a landmark in film history by playing Princess Leia in Star Wars, a role that turned her into a cultural icon recognized around the world. Beyond her memorable presence as an actress, she also stood out as a writer, addressing personal challenges, vulnerability, and resilience with her characteristic honesty and humor. Her work and authenticity continue to inspire generations, securing a lasting legacy. Jane Russell stood out in film during the 1940s and 1950s with her striking mix of beauty and dramatic presence. She gained attention with her debut in The Outlaw, quickly becoming a symbol of that era. In Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, alongside Marilyn Monroe, she shined as the lively Dorothy Shaw. Away from the screen, she became deeply involved in humanitarian work, creating an organization dedicated to supporting international adoption efforts. Catherine Deneuve became one of the great icons of French cinema, combining refined beauty with remarkable talent. She shined in classics such as The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and Belle de Jour, gaining international recognition. Eva Marie Saint charmed audiences with memorable performances across a career that spanned several generations. She acted in On the Waterfront alongside Marlon Brando, a performance that earned her an Academy Award, and shined as the mysterious agent in Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest. Impressively, her presence in film lasted for more than 7 decades, making her one of the most respected and enduring artists of her time. Karen Dor stood out in both German and international cinema, becoming one of the most recognized faces of the 1960s. She gained worldwide attention by playing the mysterious Helga Brandt in You Only Live Twice, and won over audiences in adventure productions such as The Treasure of the Aztecs. Her magnetic presence and versatility established her as one of the most memorable names in European cinema of that period. Annette Vadim stood out in French cinema during the 1950s and 1960s, especially for her performance in The Lovers of Montparnasse, where she drew attention with her delicacy and screen presence. Beyond her work on screen, she became one of the most photographed faces of her generation, representing the union of film, fashion, and artistic style. This unique combination secured her status as an icon of elegance and sophistication. Alexandra Bastedo gained international recognition for her work in the series The Champions, and for appearances in productions such as Casino Royale, where her talent and elegance drew attention. Beyond her film and television career, she devoted much of her life to animal causes, founding a sanctuary focused on caring for many species. Her journey brought together art and altruism, leaving a legacy of sensitivity, dedication, and humanitarian commitment. Norma Ann Sykes, known worldwide as Sabrina, stood out as one of the most famous British models of the 1950s. Her striking appearance and powerful presence quickly drew public attention, making her a glamour symbol in England. Her iconic look left a mark on the popular culture of the time. Yvette Mimieux stood out in the 1960s thanks to her blend of soft beauty and memorable performances in roles that became iconic. She appeared in films such as The Time Machine and Light in the Piazza, where she portrayed strong, independent women at a time when female roles were still quite limited. Away from the screen, she built a strong career as a businesswoman, reinforcing her versatility far beyond film. Abbey Lane stood out in Hollywood during the 1950s and 1960s, captivating audiences with both her magnetic presence and her mix of acting and musical talent. She appeared in productions such as The Last Train from Gun Hill, while also building a strong career as a singer. Alongside Xavier Cugat, she made a major contribution to bringing Latin music to mainstream audiences in the United States, leaving a memorable legacy in entertainment. Kirstie Alley became widely recognized in the 1980s and 1990s, thanks to her standout role in Cheers and the Look Who's Talking franchise. With her lively energy and natural humor, she won over audiences and established her name among Hollywood's most beloved figures. Throughout her career, she faced changes, pursued new paths, and became a versatile artist warmly remembered in entertainment history. In this image, Elaine Stewart shows the elegance and charm that helped establish her name in 1950s cinema. She acted in productions such as The Greatest Show on Earth and The Adventures of Haji Baba, always drawing attention with her engaging presence. In the 1970s, she surprised audiences by moving to television, hosting game shows, and showing a versatility that expanded her reach beyond Hollywood screens. Inger Stevens became a memorable presence in Hollywood in the 1950s and 1960s, combining delicate beauty with expressive talent that quickly won over audiences. She acted in The Face of Another and shined in the series The Farmer's Daughter, where her charismatic performance stood out. Away from the screen, her personal life drew attention, including a discreetly kept marriage to Ike Jones, a pioneering figure in the film industry. Shelley Fabares gained prominence in the 1960s by combining an acting and singing career, becoming one of the most beloved young artists of the era. She acted alongside Elvis Presley in Girl Happy and achieved major musical success with Johnny Angel, which reached the top of the charts. Years later, she reinvented herself on television, building a new phase of her career with her memorable role in the series Coach during the 1980s and 1990s. Marguerite Chapman stood out in film during the 1940s and 1950s, especially in productions such as Flight to Mars, which strengthened her presence in the science fiction genre. During World War II, she used her fame to take part in morale campaigns and support efforts for the troops, joining patriotic initiatives that showed her commitment to the country. Her work on and off the screen built a legacy admired by fans and film historians. Mara Corday gained attention in the 1950s thanks to her strong presence in science fiction and horror films, genres that were popular at the time. She appeared in productions such as Tarantula and The Giant Claw, winning a loyal audience among fans of the style. Many decades later, her long friendship with Clint Eastwood opened the door to new film appearances, resulting in special roles in works such as The Gauntlet, which marked her return to the screen. Diane McBain stood out in 1960s cinema thanks to her versatile talent, acting naturally in both dramas and comedies. In productions such as Parish and Claudel English, she drew public attention with the intensity and charm of her performances. Over the years, she discovered writing as a new form of expression, expanding her legacy beyond the screen and showing other sides of her creativity. Natalie Wood stood out in productions such as West Side Story in 1961 and This Property is Condemned in 1966, where she showed expressive talent and great versatility. Throughout the 1970s, she continued acting even while going through delicate personal moments. Anne Smirner stood out in European cinema by acting in productions such as The Tiger of Eshnapur and The Indian Tomb, where her strong presence and elegant beauty drew public attention. She became one of the most remembered artists of her time, combining charm and talent across different genres. After stepping away from the screen, she devoted herself to writing and painting, exploring new ways to create and express her artistic sensitivity. Lorella De Luca won over Italian film audiences in the 1950s and 1960s with her spontaneous talent and a charm that stood out on screen. She became known for her appearance in Bread, Love, and Dreams, and later took part in several spaghetti westerns directed by her husband, Duccio Tessari. This mix of roles helped strengthen her presence in the European film industry and marked her artistic path. Janet Monroe stood out in British cinema during the 1950s and 1960s, winning over audiences with her mix of gentle beauty and spontaneous talent in films such as Darby O'Gill and The Little People, and The Day the Earth Caught Fire. Her engaging screen presence quickly placed her among the most promising young stars of her generation, leaving a special memory in the cinema of that period. Barbara Hancock combined talent and elegance while building a career that naturally blended acting and dance. In film, she stood out in The Story of Three Loves, where her choreography skills added a unique charm to the production. Before that, she had already charmed audiences on Broadway stages, showing the versatility and artistic presence that marked her path. Patty Chandler stood out in the 1960s as one of the figures in the popular beach movies that marked that generation. She gained visibility in Beach Blanket Bingo, where she helped capture the relaxed and cheerful mood of the youth culture of the time. Beyond her acting, she became one of the faces linked to the sunny, vibrant, and energetic lifestyle that defined the decade. Bobbi Brown stood out in the 1990s with intense charisma and a presence that quickly made her an unforgettable face of that decade. Working as a model and music video star, she gained worldwide fame by appearing in Cherry Pie by the band Warrant, a performance that became one of the defining symbols of the glam rock era. Her image is still remembered as a striking representation of that vibrant period in music. Christina Applegate gained major attention in the 1980s and 1990s by playing Kelly Bundy in Married with Children, a role where her comic talent stood out and won over audiences. Beyond her television success, she acted in films such as Sweet Home Alabama and Anchorman, showing versatility and the ability to move between different genres. Her career continued to evolve, reinforcing her presence as one of the most charismatic artists of her generation. Carol Landis displays the charisma that made her one of the most memorable screen presences of the 1940s. She acted in films such as My Gal Sal and Four Jills in a Jeep, charming audiences with talent and warmth. During World War II, she stood out for her entertainment tours for the troops, a gesture that earned her the nickname the Sweetheart of the Armed Forces and strengthened her connection with soldiers of the time. Yolande Bet-Beze made history by winning Miss America in 1951 and refusing to pose in a swimsuit, a decision that challenged the standards of beauty pageants at the time and pushed important changes in the industry. Beyond the cultural impact she created, she became deeply involved in activism, supporting causes tied to civil rights and gender equality, making her journey even more meaningful.